This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, I mean, no, the only thing unusual is they had some stuff. That's basically.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen. All right. Public comment? What did you guys are on the agenda? If nobody has anything, I have one thing that was submitted from our missing board member-ish out there in the audience. Mr. Duvarney. He couldn't be here tonight, and he noticed that the Strawberry Festival is on the agenda. He would like to make sure that Page Street gets brought up, because last year, one side of it was marked no parking, and everybody from out of town parked on the side you can't normally park on anyway. So he just wants to make sure we mark both sides of the street this year, very clearly, that it's no parking.
But that would be the only street in the village that they didn't park on. But we did.
Well, I mean, there's no parking signs there anyway, but people park going the wrong direction.
Especially the out of town,
They park it out. So anyway, that was the only public. As long as nobody else says it.
Are you gonna flow that over to Winchell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, so then we will go on to the first thing, which is historic Owego Marketplace.
Yes, did you guys get our package on Friday? I think everything is the same, except for Porch Fest. We're, asking to close a couple streets for safety reasons. It was a little more popular than we expected, so, there's a little bit more work involved in Front Street, because you'll have to do the DOT forms, but I think if we could just have that small section up front, we kind of want to make a square front, Church and Page. We can make that closed off. We would love to put some vendors on Church Street and have that accessible by foot. At the end of Porch Fest, everyone kind of reconvened at the Outs and kind of spilled into the street from there. So we feel that's another safety issue that we would like to.
Yeah. I went, that was great.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really the only difference. Everything else, Strawberry Fest, Porch Fest, Halloween Fest, and Lights on the River, all the same expectations and requests.
We got all the curriculums. So I guess what questions do you guys have for Rachel?
as usual, I just got these today, so I need a chance to look at them. I've talked to Laura about it. She felt the same way. She'd like a chance to look at them. I appreciate that we're doing it way ahead of time, which is a good plan. But we would like a.
As promised, we wanted to get you the schedule of events for the whole year, so you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just saying, we want an opportunity to look at them before. We don't want to do it. Don't like to get them on Monday afternoon. Want to look at them before we.
Have you gone over each of these plans with our emergency services and police department?
We met with Winchell and talked about everything, but we didn't talk with Mr. Cole yet. But we should do that later.
As long as they keep everything in advertisements under 5,000 people.
Okay.
It's normal 911 other than the Strawberry Festival.
Lights on the river might be close.
Don't you usually keep the ambulance down by the Court Street for lights on the river?
Yeah, I think last time we did it we had people walk down from the station.
Yeah.
And we were staffed at the station. Takes a couple minutes to get back to the station by foot.
Rusty?
I spoke with the chief and Denver and Rudy today about the permits and the situations, and they actually don't know the details of these. So they're also not yet firm on this, so I'm going to be talking to them in the next 2 weeks about more detail, but they don't know specific. Of course, Jeff hasn't developed any emergency plans yet, but he's spoken with them, and they'll speak some more.
Yeah, I'd assume they're all gonna be pretty similar to last year, besides maybe Porch Fest.
Yeah, they're all the same that we've been doing for many, many years. Porch Fest is different, Halloween Fest is different, only because that's new in the last couple of years.
Strawberry Fest is also different. Good, bad, right, or wrong, Strawberry Fest has morphed into Friday being a small little thing for a couple hours Friday night into what I'm looking at on here now is 1 to 9 on Friday. So this is not the same. This is now an entire full day extra thing, like Strawberry Fest was. Not the same as it's been. So there are changes on these things. Every one of these things is morphing into larger and larger and larger. Good, bad, right, wrong. I'm just pointing out that they are, which is another one of the things that we need to talk about and look at.
We're just trying to close the streets a little sooner to facilitate everything.
Yep, and that's also different stuff.
So on Friday of the Strawberry Festival, you want, Front Street and Court Street closed at 1 in the afternoon?
Front and late. Because the vendors come in and the way that we were doing it, they had such a short time and then people would show up. And it just was a little bit dangerous because they're still like backing in trailers and have cars and then the public is filling in the streets. So we thought if we moved it up a couple of hours, I think the thought was that they would come in at 3 and we would just start the parking, no parking at 1. But we were discussing it.
Yeah, so it's not the festival starting earlier, it's just trying to get people organized and set up earlier in a safer manner.
That makes sense.
And once again, Friday wasn't supposed to be, once upon a time, mass vendors coming in and filling up the place. But apparently that is what it is now. Are we having, what kind of numbers of vendors are we talking about on Friday? Are we talking about similar numbers filling up all those streets like we have on Saturday? I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
No.
It's less streets, so it's not the same. I could get better numbers than what we had last year, but.
I don't know what that was, but that's okay.
Well,
Okay,
Friday
these are
nights
the
become
questions.
very popular, with the locals especially. Friday night has become, I think, more popular than Saturday.
Friday was an incredible number of people last year.
I think it's the farm.
And it shows the growth and popularity of it, it's not detrimental, I don't think.
I wasn't saying that, I'm just
You're
commenting
not
on the
gonna cut it
changes.
back, I mean, people like to come.
Weather was nice.
Yes, the weather was nice,
Yeah, Saturday.
except for Saturday.
It was not great.
That parade was cold.
Yeah.
So for the Porch Fest, do you plan anything on Main Street as far as porches?
Yes.
So my concern there is with traffic, if they're gonna go down Main Street, if they have no other options, they're gonna hit Ross and come down or something like that. I just worry about the increase of popularity of people walking in the street again like they did last year.
We didn't have any issues on Main. There seemed to be like, it was spaced out a little bit better. And the foot traffic stayed to the sidewalk. The issue we felt on front was there was a couple of really popular bands that kind of.
Right, but last year you didn't have any street closures, I believe.
Correct.
And I'm worried myself about that pushing the traffic down another street, but there's gonna be a lot of people. I don't know how we avoid that, we do detour signs for, I mean, because there's gonna be people.
I mean, in a perfect world, we'd be ecstatic if we could have that whole block, you know, front page, main and church. We just didn't want to disrupt
Right.
the flow of traffic, and if Main needed to stay open, we could work with that. I feel like the front and church are the big ones, and Page is one way, so I thought, you know, maybe that's, you know, viable to make that close too and give people that footpath. Yeah, we're willing to, you know, think about alternative.
Kind of wearing two hats here, but how do local stores feel about vendors being on the very next street over from them? As far as being on Church Street where you want to put all the vendors when there's already stores?
I feel like they were very supportive because we ended 5 and that kind of, well, for the restaurants, it pushed people back into town, but, there wasn't a whole lot of, in fact, a couple of the local, people had tents over there, so.
I was just curious how the
Yeah.
local area felt.
I think it keeps it walkable, so if people wanted to like, you know, make the loop.
I think it was a really nice collaboration between the maker vendors and the stores because they worked together to promote each other and it was a lot of hearsay. So I think it was a really pleasant collaboration.
To Ron's point, and once again, the questions of the changes, if numerous streets are closed, are we going to be bringing in numerous food vendors? I'm sorry?
For Porch Fest?
Yeah.
I don't know what your definition of numerous is, but we would like to have a few.
Yeah, well, that's.
I mean, we offer the locals the opportunity to have a tent and to have something on the street. If they don't want to participate, then we're looking at it, you know, bringing something in for the people that want to attend. So.
Are we anticipating, if we have all these street closures, are we anticipating food vendors on Page Street, on Front Street, on Church Street, or where are we anticipating them at any street that's closed?
Yeah, we did want to organize.
So food vendors may be all over the residential part of the village, and that's one of the things that Ron is asking about is how that's going to affect the brick and mortar places downtown if there's food trucks selling things on various closed streets. That's just another one of the things.
How many vendors did you have last year?
I believe we had around 13. And they were a mixture of makers and the popcorn guy. It mostly consisted of local makers.
We don't want to have anything major like Strawberry Fest. It's just kind of the mom and pop kind of thing. I mean, it's an afternoon event. And our whole purpose is to shut down by 5, push the crowd back to downtown so they can go to the restaurants and go have a dinner. So it's not to take business away from anybody in downtown. It's to bring people here.
So are you encouraging people to start, the crowds to start from a particular place and do a circuit, or how is that set up?
So we schedule the bands to be we're spacing them out on porches, and then it starts, so basically the corner of, I'll just say front and where I am, on Front Street, and the opposite corner on Main and whatever the furthest point is. And then you kind of rotate like this so the sound stays as far apart as possible. And then it all circles back to the Elks Club, who has basically the headliner. And so people are right there to finish the day and disperse into the restaurants or whatever.
I do have a question, maybe you can answer, Mike. That parking lot is one way in, one way out on the Church Street, that small one, how do we deal with that? There's one way in from the movie theater, one way out on the church. If you're closing the church, you can't very well pull out there.
Yeah, that's close that lot.
Okay. I think you're gonna take off a lot of people if you close that lot. So it's always full of people. I don't know if we can redirect it back out the other way. That could be a very dangerous game as well.
Well, I can't imagine where you're coming out that lot and you're going over to Main. There's not much right there in that section of Church Street.
Right, but if they're closing Church Street, we still need to be able to get out on the church.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking, you could close it where the entrance or the exit to the lot is.
And then you want.
Have it closed
have
there so
church.
that people can.
Yeah, we don't have to
Yeah,
have
I
the
think
whole
we've
thing.
done that
I think if
before.
we get just past the Elks and the bank, across from the bank, if that was closed right there, that would be super helpful.
Yeah, so you
And
come out
then
of that.
access could still be achieved from that end of church.
I don't see a problem with that compromise. But
Right.
I said that lot is always full of cars.
That would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, right to us maybe,
Right.
just to have that corner to be secured for.
Yeah, because it was crazy last year, to say the least.
Yeah, and then, you're not blocking off any of Main Street, right, to traffic?
That was not the plan.
Yeah.
No.
So are you keeping all of the bands on the, south side of Main Street?
That,
On
yeah.
the one side, on the,
Oh, yeah, yes. That happened to be just the way the flow
Yeah,
worked.
cause you
with
wouldn't,
all the
you would,
residents.
if you had bands on both sides, that could be
Yeah,
a
people
real
crossing, there
pedestrian
was,
hazard.
last year there was no interest on that side of the street and, you had that competing sound, so, we have a few lessons learned. We're gonna be a little bit more sensitive to timing and spacing of the porches.
Yeah, cause I could see where you'd be detouring people over John's or whatever to Main Street to miss that section in front.
I know last year what I witnessed when I went was, the issue really wasn't like people walking from property to property, because they pretty much walked on the sidewalk. It was like when you had the houses where they're pretty close to the road, like a couple on Front Street, and then
My
people
house.
are standing there trying to watch the band,
Yeah.
and there's 100 people there, and they're out into the road.
Yeah.
So like Main Street, a lot of those houses are set back,
Exactly.
where they got pretty big yards.
And I know for one, my porch is really close to the street. I'm gonna, lessons learned, put the band that was really popular at the Velva, there's the lawn. So, there's a lot of little tweaks that we're doing to alleviate, but there was still, a couple issues that we felt the traffic was a little hairy. And just, obviously, you're driving, you're looking, what's going on, there was a little near misses that we just rather, if they could take that turn on John and go around it, would be great.
Front Street is state road, so we can close that for Porch Fest, do more stuff. Yeah, so last year the Porch Fest, we didn't have the village insured for the use of the park and the streets. So we wanted to make sure that anytime you're having an event, that you make sure you supply the insurance coverage to the village before the event starts, for the village, to cover the village in case anything happens. If we have something passed to say that you have to do it 24 hours before the event starts. Make sure that it's in the village office. Like when, it's sort of automatic for the bigger events, but the ones that are added on, we need to have that, to cover everybody. Like the Porch Fest and the Halloween Fest for the closure of streets to cover that. But I don't know how the state roads are affected for that, but like any village owned streets, so like covering Church Street. Like just a certificate.
Yeah, have you talked with the DOT yet?
No, we don't talk to them until we get your permission.
Okay.
So does anybody else have more questions for each of us?
Well, I would propose that, we accept the, plans for the Strawberry Festival for this year.
I think Rusty's point was that we just got this stuff today. We want to look over it. Is that it?
That was my plan.
I mean, I don't
As
see
usual, we're trying to,
I don't see it's not gonna
get
damage
this whole
the
thing out
damage,
there in 5 minutes and right now. We don't know what other questions we have and stuff. I always want to take a little time to talk about it.
So just, for your awareness, our guidance was to get our paperwork turned in by Friday,
Very
so they
appreciated.
could provide it to you guys. So, we are just being very proactive at this point to give you our ideas and our plans, so we can be well ahead of the game for
Yeah, I
all the
appreciate that.
approvals. So,
You know,
I get it, you want to
The
talk
thing
about
is,
it, look at it, but.
but not everybody on board has email, believe it or not. So I mean, we need to look at the hard copy.
No worries. Like we said, we want to be ahead of the game and give you all of our thoughts and plans for the year. We have time to work it.
I, for one, very much appreciate your proactive approach here.
Yes.
Some years, it seems like it was the end of March before we were looking at anything, and
Well,
I know things happen. Right.
We just, got our board together last month, so this was one of our big things, was to get that all planned out and be able to present it to you in first quarter, so you know what we're thinking.
And poor Pat last year got, whatever, the tiniest little spanking when you came in about Strawberry Festival, and we said, hey, this is real late, we needed to know faster, so you guys are doing it this year, you're letting us know faster, which is exactly what we asked last year, thank you very much.
So we'll put it on the agenda again next time.
Yeah,
Anybody
man,
else? Question?
sorry for the inconvenience, but maybe one of you folks can come back in next time in case we have questions.
I was gonna say, if anybody has questions, obviously, get a hold of them between, yeah.
Yeah, we can
it's
ask
on-
the questions offline.
It's on another weird day, it's on Tuesday, so it's the 21st.
February.
But President's Day is the 20th.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, thanks for coming and bringing all the information.
Yeah, until we get your permission, we can't really move ahead with anything,
Right.
with anybody. So be good if we could next time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for getting to use it.
All right.
Last year's Strawberry Fest for sure, that really kind of has everything in it, and it's all, the bands are different, but the basic structure is the same, and
The layout, yeah.
the map and the whole thing.
Mostly the same.
Thank you.
Yeah. Scott Smith wants to be very involved this year because it's their 100th year anniversary.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they're looking to partner with us. So it should be kind of exciting.
Scott Smith.
Well, they should be, what do you call it, the head of the parade.
Yeah, and they have a lady that's 100 years old, Mrs. Is that Stinner? No, that's Stinner.
Some lady that's 100 years old. Sorry, you should know her name.
First one over the bridge. Number of a hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep, just 20 years ago.
Right.
Was that 20 years?
Yeah, I think it was 2001.
Was it?
I think it was a big thing about somebody, the first one over the bridge was also the first one over the first one.
Mrs. Hunt was the one that went over the bridge when it was retired.
The one?
Mrs. Hunt? Yeah.
I think it was, don't know for a photo.
All right, moving on. Department head reports. Well, we'll do your stuff.
So for last month, we had 152 calls for service. We gave out 19 mutual aid requests. We dispatched 19. We responded to 18 of those mutual aid requests, 9 mutual aids received. We had one person pass their original EMT exam, and one person upgraded from a basic EMT to an advanced EMT. And he's got permission from the medical director to start field time. Couple instructors, one upgraded to ALS instructor, and other one renewed their card. 38 volunteers responded to calls in January. Been working with county IT. We've received 30 out of our 4 towers. We have temporary logins. We started onboarding users. We still have a list of items that we need from county IT, including printer access, hookup for the fax that's been out of service for a couple weeks or a couple months now, EMS phones, narcotic software on the 4th computer, and guest network Wi-Fi needs to be set up. We had the Tioga County ATI people there last Sunday. They washed ambulances, swept floors, moved equipment, all that kind of stuff in the station. And vehicle mileages, as posted, 32 had normal oil changes and headlight repairs.
Excellent.
That county IT stuff, so they know about all that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I sent Brandon emails, and then the new guys that showed up on Friday, I was sitting there stalking them, and they gave me business cards, so all 4 of them have my emails.
Because they're usually pretty responsive.
Okay, so I'll send them another email this week and say, what are the updates to these?
Yeah. If not, get a hold of Kim. She knows how to call them pretty quick.
Okay, all right. Yes, ma'am.
Can you, what are you doing in the meantime that you don't have a fax machine? Like, you just.
We have a sign on the fax machine. If they need to receive faxes like face sheets, it comes over to the village, and the village emails it to us.
Okay. So you're just getting incoming faxes?
Mm-hmm. We don't really send too many outgoing faxes. The outgoing faxes, if somebody needs to, one of the members needs to fax a page, it goes.
You use your phone, send a page now,
Right,
right?
right.
But like, so you just wanna get faxes faster than, like, on time, right?
Right. Right. The biggest thing that we would get faxes for are updated face sheets, which is the medical insurance information that gets attached to the PCRs. Sometimes we get stuff from lawyers requesting because they don't like the snail mail stuff. They like to put it in a fax machine or email it from fax and send it to a machine or somebody else's email.
Yeah. So, can you ask the IT to set up something for you?
Oh, they're supposed to.
Okay.
Our fax number still rings, but when they ported over the numbers, they ported over that number. They have 2 fire department phones sitting there, and the the fax phone line went to never ever land. It just sits there and rings. So,
Phone line stuff was harder to deal with.
yeah.
They'll figure it out.
Yep. So supposedly it's in the works. I walked in Friday and they had lines stretched from the printer over. So I think whenever they go over, they get time, they go do it. Other than it just, I figured it'd be like a 1 week thing, get everything done. It'd be a mess, go like that and be done. It just seems to be piecemeal.
Are they also working down the street at the same time?
I think-
What to do.
I think they're done here.
It's mostly.
They're done at PD.
Yep.
They're done, they didn't do anything over there, it's just your office. They're done over at the sewer department.
Yeah, they're mostly done. I think you guys might be flat.
Yeah.
How do they get that phone line in the garage?
Our biggest problem now is getting them to coincide the county to the fair.
Right, the camera system with it.
But county and Dairy One's gotta,
Yeah, they
Whatever
gotta
that
talk
they
to
do.
each other.
yeah.
I had mentioned to Mike the other day that, you know, I wasn't aware of the status of the IT stuff. And, he told me that, we'd work on getting email addresses for board
Oh, that's,
members.
yeah,
We don't have that yet.
well, I think we do. I sent an email a year ago.
Yeah.
But if anybody wants an email address, get with Kim, and she'll be set up with IT. I think I can make you one. Rusty?
So Paul, of course, appreciate all the numbers and everything, but every month I want to see those, love those last four, no known issues, no known issues.
I like those too.
Keep those in.
I literally asked Jeff last week, have you heard anything, you know, up with the ambulances? And he says, no, and he goes, shh. I said, it's been mum is the word, and then Sonia says, headlights out. I said, well, call up Justin and see if he can get it in, and that was Friday. So he got it done.
So are we, dealing with, a race today?
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, you don't have to deal with it today. I mean, there's nothing earth shattering. If you wanna deal with it today, fine, but in reviewing commercial accounts from what the mayor sends us, there's a little bit of money, and I don't know what that dollar amount is, being left on the table for the commercial insurance. This will not change what we're getting from Medicaid, won't change what we're getting from Medicare.
We don't have a choice on that.
We don't have a choice, so, it's been probably 2 years, I think, I don't know.
Probably.
All I
Yeah,
have,
2 years ago.
I don't have a date on the last sheet that we had, that Fran and Robin and Mike had there, but, if you can see, it's basically a short little increase on what starred. The numbers that didn't increase, we really don't do the non-emergent stuff. The non-emergent is the stuff going back and forth to, you know, coming home from the hospital, going from hospital to hospital, and that. We do some of the, treat and release stuff. Not too much.
Now, this is something in the back of my head reminds me that we were gonna, every year we were gonna kind of look at these rates, whether we're getting after it or not,
Yeah, I mean, we should.
yeah, just as a general.
Yeah, and, you know, we get the reports from the mayor, and we look at it, and we can kind of see what's going on there, and, I mean, the rate increase isn't gonna be a huge moneymaker, but it's not leaving commercial.
Want to leave anything on the table?
Right.
Is that something you think we need to investigate anymore, or do you think that this,
I mean, I'm okay with it. You guys are?
They're not substantial jumps.
No, they're
No,
$100 bucks.
it's not huge.
and once again, we're not jumping anybody, it's not like we're making grandma pay more, it's just, how much we're
Insurance.
charging the company.
Dude, just personal interest. I see $100 jumps all except for one, it was $200. Why?
See, doing a little research, one agency, well, it's public information, what Schuyler County was basically charging the same rate for their 911 agents as they were for their ALS assess. And I just,
I figured there had to be a reason, it just kind of stood out to me.
yes. They were actually charging $1,300 for their ALS assess.
It's like 32 cents a mile.
No, that's
$32.
dollars.
Oh, okay, I'm like, that's 30%.
That's dollars. That's dollars.
And that seems high, because we only get the bill for loaded.
Can't you Uber on the way back?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, that's a high number, but it's because they only get to charge for one way to the hospital.
So, if someone makes a motion, you just need to make a effective date, and I would just suggest to do it like for at least next week, because the mayor has to sign it, and we just have to get it out.
That was a question I had, what if we do this, oh, yeah, it can take effect almost immediately.
It can, yeah, almost immediately, and I honestly would say as of February 13th, just so it gets up there and gets all taken care of.
So, Mr. Mayor, as you know, I don't, many things I don't want to do without looking at and thinking about. We already have our experts that looked through this, done the research. These are the numbers. I'm comfortable with that. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the increases in rates as proposed on the form that Paul put together for us. Effective February 13th, 2023.
Second.
Any other discussion on those rates?
Going to.
I just saw. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes.
Thank you.
You wanna just sign that real quick?
Oh, you already got it done.
Oh.
Yeah. It'll be effective today. There you go.
Thank you.
You can break my leg and I didn't charge the extra money, huh?
Now, hope somebody on the call will have the only downside.
Well, I just want to make a comment too. I appreciate all of the training that continually goes on for the EMS. You know, and we keep seeing our members upgrading their skills.
Anything else for EMS? As usual, tell all the volunteers and everybody thank you. Ready?
Today will be the last day of trimming trees with Tony Barnhart. We have tomorrow, we're gonna be grinding the stumps that we cut down. So I'm hoping everybody was liking what we did with the trees, cleaning it up. Finished McMaster Street today. I'm sorry that the mayor got in trouble on Academy Street. Did not know. So we're doing good there. So, been picking up grocery carts, patching a lot of potholes. We painted part of the DPW garage inside this week, probably finish it up tomorrow. We took down all the snowflakes that were on the bridge, the tree, and, let spring begin.
Yeah, that tree lasted very well.
It was still pretty good when we cut it down. It was still in good shape.
That's great.
Yes, it was. Oh, and, another thing, I just finished up the paving billing for West Ave, Woodlawn, Cole Street. So that'll be going to Chips any day, by Friday. And Marvin Park, we kinda had some problems over there. Breaking light bulbs in Pavilion 7.
Vandalism?
Yeah. And then last night, we were assuming the police enclosed little trailer they have. They got into, kind of broke the lock on it, but I don't think they got in. But that's destroyed now. And I'll email him again or call him again, Loveland, about cameras. If he give us a quote or what's he gonna do. I talked to, the Dairy One guy the other day with, Mr. Morris, and he's supposed to be getting, see if he couldn't get a hold of Loveland, or, is that right, Loveland County. Yeah. So I've been trying to get a hold of him, see if he can give us a quote for the cameras, but I have not heard a darn thing from him.
Rusty?
Don't want to speak in open session of it, but talk, want us to start talking about security. And so I don't want to, what the world, where we're going, what we're doing, but I've talked to the police chief today about that. We need to be doing something about that, so. Yep, for sure. Exactly about that.
Anybody else have anything? DPW?
Well, I don't know, I looked over the hunt plans for the bathrooms in Marvin Park. And, what did you want to see in there?
I have not seen him.
So they have a handicap bathroom, so it's a, male and female, right? So there's like a handicapped, for the female and then 2 regular stalls. And the, men's side, there's like 1 handicap stall and then there's like 2 urinals. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's you mean not more men's stalls?
Yeah, like toilets to sit down on or anything?
90% of the time they don't, I hear.
Okay, what about like, the changing?
But they have.
Changing tables or like for kids or something, cause it's a park?
I would assume all that.
I'm assuming it's gotta be in it, but it's gotta be mandated, right?
I didn't see one, but,
I don't know if they
Like-
showed up with drawings.
is that okay for the men's bathroom to just have one stall for having kids and stuff like that? Is that like a?
Sure. My only concern is having it, I don't know what to do on that, is vandalism.
Yeah, we talked about
That's, I don't know what we're gonna do on that.
locking doors or.
Remember what I recommended, iron gates that can be closed and locked.
I agree to that, but what I'm saying is that it's gonna be closed that when we leave to go home,
Well, yeah,
that's the problem. But, not to be a jerk or something, but yeah, about the time I see it needs to be locked because you never know what's gonna happen after 3:30. I don't. I'm not willing to put all this money into it and just keep getting vandalized and waste more time cleaning that darn thing.
That's it.
Actually arrest the vandals, that'd be nice.
What's that?
If we could actually arrest the vandals, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Well, they have to break into the police station.
I don't care about that, but we can arrest them and
They're
they're out. They're out.
Really?
Anyway.
I mean, that's my biggest issue.
We'll see what happens in the yard park when that happens.
Well, maybe we need to, coordinate with LPD to, nightly lock.
Yeah.
The rest of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying, either OPD's gotta do it at a certain time, and I wouldn't be waiting all day to do it. I'm just saying, the longer you wait, when they're out somewhere else,
Yeah,
the quicker they
I
can.
mean, they could have set keys as well as you have the keys.
So that in the order of the process, we have to build them so that we can lock them up and close them. We'll do that. We can figure out how we're gonna lock, where, as we go along. But we have to build them that way.
Steel door,
Yeah, which they are, I mean, but they know that's a concern of ours.
right, that's my only concern.
They just shut down in the off season.
Yes.
Yeah.
So does anybody randomly check those to make sure?
Yes.
nothing-
There you go again, off season, they're not being used in the winter, and we want.
If they're locked up,
We want, but we want an iron gate across that.
with
We
no
want that
water,
locked up.
I would put a steel door in it, the iron gate.
Well,
Which I think they're done.
Yeah, but with I mean, it's totally locked all the time now when the water's off and we shut down the park. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's kids over there in the park playing, but our combination is locked up and like that.
Yeah, there's no water in there anyway.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else for DPW? Let's do, not really DPW, but kind of the code software thing. So Nick submitted us a letter, reviewed a bunch of different software packages and got quotes. And he wants us to approve that one, which, I mean, we've had money in his budget the last couple of years to do some kind of code software.
They did the research and everything.
Yeah, I know he went out to, I think, whichever municipality been using it for a while.
And
Watch them use it.
said there's an initial cost of $4,500 annually, and $2,500 one-time fee for setup,
And there's a couple of
a
tabs.
couple of tablets.
does anybody know how much we had put away for that? 15?
15,000.
So Mick's, once again, he's done a certain amount of research. He likes this company and the ways and means that they do it, and he likes the price on this company. And so obviously the code would like to have a system.
Yeah, where they can pull up on the side
Yeah,
of the street.
yeah, that kind of, yeah. And that system, they'll be driving down the street and know everything about every place they go by, which, well,
We need that.
but it's valuable. Well, Big Brother, but valuable.
That's okay.
Yeah, we gotta get over it, Big Brother's here.
Yeah.
I mean, Lockheed flies over and make it.
I would like to make a
I see
motion to
everything.
approve this.
As presented.
Yes.
I'll second that.
So we're good. Yep, we need to, yeah, we always put a different amount of money in here than it's written down here, however we're gonna say it, however we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In case the price goes up a little.
Yeah, whatever,
Well,
we put it back.
We're running for 3 years.
No.
It doesn't change for 3 years.
Well, the price.
We can always.
Pricing is
we can always
3
make
years,
it
every year, 3 years.
The agreement will be 3 years.
Number 4 makes sense.
So you're gonna say something about the price and the setup fee and the little wiggle room?
Should be done that way?
There's always seems to be extra cost incurred with these.
It's $7,000 up front.
7,000 and then 2,000 for the tablets, that's 9, and then another 9 for 2 more years with a 45 a year, so we're at 18 there for that.
It's every year is gonna be 4,500.
But I'm just saying for 3 years.
Right.
This should be 9 grand for the first year's, and all the start things, and then 9 grand for the total for the next 2 years, and so 18 grand to go on 3 years. And we have to obviously find 4,500 every year to pay for it, we don't have
I
that.
put in the budget
Yeah,
before
yeah,
that.
Yeah, we had,
Yeah.
15,000 to budget right now.
You got that right?
Well, but, so are we, I'm just asking if we're adding if we're putting a number in, or,
I can budget it. I already made notes for the budget.
I meant for the motion here, we're talking
Is that,
this amount of money up to.
So I mean,
a
you could
certain amount.
say initially for 10,000 instead of 9,000.
I make the motion.
So, oh, no,
Thank you, I just, we should always be doing that. Because all of a sudden it's 9,300, we didn't, right, we didn't do that.
We screwed it up. Any other discussion on that? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Anything from the fire chief?
Other than he was wanting an update on where we're gonna find the funds with these Jaws of Life. Still working on that. If anybody was interested in, or was gonna do the OSHA training in February, on February 18th, the date has been changed due to, the conflict with another event that was happening at the training center. So that date has been changed to March 4th at 9 a.m.
You know if that's Saturday or Sunday?
That is a Saturday. March 4th is a Saturday.
And generally that they serve.
There's gonna be breakfast. Yep.
There's breakfast at 8 o'clock, training at 9.
That's all I got to say about that. Do we have an AED here in this building?
I don't know if we have one in this building. I don't think we do.
Probably not.
Should have.
We should have one here.
You have one over at the DPW? Oh, we should certainly have one here somewhere.
It was required at the pool. I don't think there's any, says we have.
Oh, multiple.
It's a good.
State DOT, the police department, the fire department training center, Price Chopper, the doctor's office, Allied has 2 on order. Allied, I think it's the train, Allied, yes, behind the station. They have a couple. Oh, the pool has one.
Not being used right now,
We did.
Yeah, make sure they stay warm when they're not in use.
It's over at your place. We borrowed it, you didn't know that.
Right.
So, Johnson Pools and Spas has one. The police cars do, the ambulances we don't have the little small AEDs. All levels of provider use the big monitors. They can do AED mode and manual mode.
How much is this one is small?
You can get a cheapie that does the same thing as everything else for $500 or $600. You can get one that's compatible to our monitors, and the defib pads would be the right price for you for replacement. AED, if I go to AED Superstore, cheapest AED, well, I'll go Philips. I'm partial to physio control. Oh, you don't want to put those prices. $1,500.
$1,500 pads for a $600 machine.
What's that?
$1,500 pads for a
No,
$600 machine.
pads are $50.
Oh.
But the price, your price would be right.
So we should probably be looking at having one someplace here.
Yeah, we should put one here somewhere.
So, I mean, you can use the same ones that PD has.
Is that the?
I can get a price for you from Kevin,
Yeah.
and that's state bid
Yeah.
for physio control.
Get that for the next meeting.
Yep.
Order one.
Are we still looking at that $500 one or the $1,500?
Oh, apparently $500 AEDs, at least on this website, do not exist
Okay.
anymore.
Yeah, well,
Well, we'll get the state bid price,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
okay.
Just gave yourself more work, Paul.
Yep, that's all right.
But yeah, we should have one here somewhere.
Yeah, especially when you consider we're gonna have elections here.
And we should
We have lots
train
of
somebody
people
how to
in and
use
out.
this.
Yeah,
They're pretty idiot.
and
I mean, I am.
the price is right on that too,
I know.
at cost for over here, that's fine. What do I want to say? Physio control is like 4 months out on the AEDs, just let you know. So it kind of depends on what brand, and how long you wanna wait.
Figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, where's the one at the pool?
We borrowed it.
Right now, it's
We have to have one there station. Yep.
Where?
We borrowed it from the fire station.
Why don't we bring it over here to?
Temporarily.
Just in case.
I can ask Mr. Morris.
Bring it over here to
It's
the
not,
pool.
it's not at school because
it's one of the EMS ones.
it's been taken from the pool.
I brought it back to Mr. Morris.
Bring it over here till we can order one.
Well, if you get in contact with Jim, I think he's about to order one for the training center, because theirs is outdated. So maybe you can get a 2-for-1, two for a price.
How's our point?
Another question was, do you know how many people are certified for CPR here?
In this building?
Yeah. Well, you are?
Mhm.
I mean, I was certified a long time ago, but I never forget.
Every 2 years you have to.
Every 2 years.
I practice
I
on
get
the
used
dogs
to
and the
it
cats.
every year.
Yeah, it would be helpful probably if, the MS, let the board members know when there's another CPR
Yeah,
training,
that's fine.
so that, you know,
Stay alive thing.
people don't realize their certification
Well,
runs out.
Yeah, just staying alive plus we have to teach at a slightly higher level too.
Pass us on.
Yeah, maybe somebody in the office.
You get to do BBM stuff. What's that?
So sure.
No, actually,
Very easy to learn.
it's much nicer having the patient's mouth this far away
Yeah.
than it is using a mask.
First time I've ever died, there was no mask involved, and I did not enjoy that.
You
No,
know,
No, I had to do it on a person.
You don't have to do any mouth-to-mouth contact if you don't want to. Just remember, push hard and fast.
I have one thing. There was a person at our last meeting that talked about fire assistant grant, volunteer fire assistant grants. And I looked it up and it's pretty simple. And so maybe fill it out for the fire station or maybe chief. And it's just, $1,500, but, from the state.
That would pay for the shifts.
Is there a reason for it?
Well, 50/50 matching funds program. So whatever we want to buy,
Okay.
or whatever they want to buy, but it's just fire department, firefighting equipment and stuff like that, so.
Yeah.
Thought of something.
So,
To you, I don't know if you know that we fixed that lantern that the roof guys hit and smashed.
Okay.
We fixed it. We're just waiting for the bulb to come through.
for the police station.
Yes. I want,
And I assume you've got the downspout taken care of. That.
Yep.
Appreciate
Oh,
that.
that had nothing to do
It had
with
nothing.
Yeah, I know.
It was just a visual, they thought maybe we knew something that.
What they gonna hit?
Yeah. All right. You have anything else?
No, that's all I had, I just, safety stuff.
Same message, thank all the volunteers.
Yep.
I'll see them soon anyway, so.
You have something, Paul?
Do you want me to copy you on the email and send it to Kevin so you get the price too?
You sure can.
I have the mayor and Fred, just because you brought it up. And then, okay.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, then I guess let everybody here know when you're gonna hold a class. I mean, not just the board members, but the girls and that
Okay.
again.
Well, we do have a CPR instructor that's around during the day at times, so we can have her just come over and do it every day.
Just because, I mean, it's good for us to have it, but we're not really here ever.
Right.
Yeah, but it goes with you, no matter where you go.
Well, right, but we are out around the village places.
Hell, I just think that the DPW do it, have it done.
Yeah.
Girls and the
Yeah, that would be
A
good.
That'd be a good
perfect,
thing.
a perfect number is, 8 to 10 people per class. So for DPW, it would be good to split that up.
We can do the guys one day and the girls next, or whatever,
That's fine.
Or you wanna figure out.
or the office to the outside guys.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
how long does it take? It's like a couple hours. Right?
It's a couple hours.
It's not that long.
Well, maybe you ought to propose a couple of dates and talk with her. And propose it to the office here.
Yeah.
See what fits.
Okay.
You'll be running classes soon, probably for Little League, right?
Yep,
At night or on the weekends, that we could jump in.
yep.
That's how I was certified. I'm sure mine's expired, but. All right, we have anything from the police?
Once again, it's some sensitive stuff that, we're probably not gonna talk about right now. Other than that, the break-in, of course, last night,
Yeah.
about that, so we already know about that, so that's.
Clerk. Well, let's do the cleaning. It's kind of clerkish.
Approve a bid of $155 for bi-weekly for cleaning the building. Mostly just toilets, stuff like that. We take care of everything else. We'd rather have somebody do that. We had it before at the other place, but we didn't carry it over. And we sent everything out to bid, this is the bid that came.
How much did we do?
It's like $155, so it's like $75 a week. Roughly.
You wanna do it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all in the budget, right?
I will say that number includes them bringing all their stuff.
Yeah.
Supplies.
No add-ons, no tricks, no whistles, that's it.
And they'll do it, while we're on.
Oh,
Yeah, we
right, so I
accept it.
heard that.
Move, we accept the bid as presented.
Second.
Any discussion on that one?
Bi-weekly, every 2 weeks or twice a week?
Every time. Oh, yeah. That's, I probably worded wrong, bi-weekly.
Well, they can mean two things, just thought we should get clarification. I figured every 2 weeks, but.
I have to clear that word.
Yeah, we'll double check.
We don't want to come twice a week. All right. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yep.
Rob?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Okay.
We'll cross that.
All right, discussion on Bell Rocker Lane. This is like an informational thing, mainly because I haven't gotten answers back from Nate yet.
Can I interrupt for a second, Mike?
Yeah.
Want to hear Mike's information about this? Don't want to get chatting about it.
Yeah, no.
This is not where we want to start talking about this.
So the information is they're not asking us to take the road right now. But they are asking us if we'd be willing to add the fire hydrants onto our list. So if they count as village fire hydrants and are included in our one fee. My comment to that is we're pretty close to switching the billing of fire hydrants in general to people's water bills, so it's whatever,
How many fire hydrants are we talking?
5. And it wouldn't change our bill because the way our contract is with Veolia now, we pay that set fee whether we have 2 hydrants or 6,000.
Whether you use them or not, right?
Right. Yeah. So I don't know if we can legally do it with it not being our road. That was my question to Nate, and I haven't heard an answer. And then they've asked us the same question with the 4 or 5 streetlights, which are built in up. Like us just take them over and obviously pay for them, which they estimate to be $15 a month to run all of them. So, I don't
Pay
know
the
how I
electric
can get it.
bill, you mean?
Yeah,
And plus maintain.
well, I maintain them, and I don't know, again, if it's not our road, can we even do that? I don't know.
So with the fire hydrants, you have to maintain, make sure that they're not covered in snow, right?
No, it's the same as every other fire hydrant. Just,
Go do that, you know, out of the road to get to the fire hydrant.
Viola maintains them.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I've never seen Viola dig out a damn fire.
Me neither.
Is it, yeah, does the fire department do that?
Sometimes.
Generally, store owners will, homeowners will.
Yeah, anybody that's in a
Then if
fire
it's
hydrant
huge, it's
should
in front of
be-
your house.
Yeah.
They show up as covered with snow, they're not gonna use it.
So don't want to, 10 seconds of this, don't want to be talking about this, I'll just say one piece about it, which is we may be open to some negotiations, to some contracts that are protective of various folks. We will be talking about that.
So I don't have any details yet, 'cause I don't even know if that stuff's legal to do.
But what the ask was, fire hydrants, there's 5 of them, and.
Don't quote me on the 5 number, but
Okay.
Yeah, that's the answer.
We're not talking.
The ask was
No.
fire hydrants and streetlights that they put in.
Right.
Are they, has anybody seen the streetlights to know if they're like the
They're
LEDs that we use?
supposed to be the same ones that we have everywhere.
Cobra
Yeah.
things.
I mean, I didn't verify that they're exactly the same, that all of our parts will fit those, but
So their ask was fire hydrants and streetlights.
Yeah.
That we take on, that they would take over the like, dedication.
I don't know what's going on.
These are negotiations that we'll have to be talking about.
They didn't ask us to allocate the road, so
Okay.
right now it's their private driveway. I heard that somebody might be taking the road.
I got a driveway, I want you to pay for my lights too, damn it.
Yeah, I know, right? So, and I don't know if that's, I mean, it doesn't seem like we could do that legally, but.
Yeah, that's a Nate question.
You could
Yeah.
have
We
fire
don't have
station.
Nate here tonight, and we need to be in executive session talking to Nate.
Yeah, so, but anyway, that's what they asked. So mill it over and start talking about it, and we need to talk to Nate about it, so. Payment of bills.
I didn't see anything that stood out.
I move it.
Look like bills to me.
Move to pay him.
Second.
$50,000 stipend in there when
I'm sure mine is in there.
Was that the exit?
I don't think your buyout is in there yet.
Yeah, right, that's the exit bonus?
Yes, that buyout, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on the payment of bills? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Minutes?
For minutes, when I was looking over them, I noticed just one change to make. It was right at the beginning of the meeting, so let me find it. Oh, great.
Is this motion?
Yeah, so it's gonna be page 2. The first motion on page 2. Just to make it plural, so like all non-union employees could donate their time, not just one person donating their extra time, right?
Just put down.
Well,
Yeah, just that first one on the page, because it
Yeah, we
kind
gotta
of reads
keep
it like
separate.
one person's gonna donate their time, and there was like multiple
There's a
people
lot
in
of
the
people in
room,
the
like,
department.
yeah.
That was the motion, that was to cover any and all non-union.
We had to do 2 separate, union and non-union.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was for everybody.
Yeah, so just, yeah, I guess just making employees. And that's it, that I thought. Funny, right? Yeah, so I motion to approve with just making that one item.
Okay.
or-
Second,
Any other comments on the minutes? Rusty?
yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Trustee reports. Rusty.
No report.
Laura?
So we had our first Climate Smart Committee meeting and it went really well. It was both, in person and virtually attended. And so there's so many things that we're looking to get started on, and a lot of it's like collection gathering for getting information about like stuff that we've done so we can get credit for it. So it's cool. So we're looking at getting information on stuff that's happening to see if we can get like extra money for it and stuff like that. So all the DRI stuff, like ways that we can shake and get an extra money for, making it more climate smart stuff. So if there's like LED opportunities and like, just like all the things for saving, all the features that like they're looking for that maybe we can either get credit because they're putting them in already,
right,
or if we can get money to put them in. Just ways that we can get help, and then money for major infrastructure problems. The stormwater system, the dry well, the underpass, and the creek flooding and stuff. So we're really, so those are all things that we're working at. So, yeah. I read over a big study of one of the creeks that runs down into the school that they did for their floodplain. And the guy who prepared that's on our, the hydrologist for that is on our team. So anyways, we've got a lot of stuff thrown for that. And OHPC had their meeting on Thursday. Or no, the first Thursday of the month.
That was last Thursday.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just now. They had their 2 approvals for the things that were on the list. And people might see that the one home on Main and Spencer on the corner, that will be demolished, but they came in and like put boards up over the windows and stuff like that to protect it from getting, trespassers and stuff like that. And things were able to be salvaged for the materials of the structure. So anyways, you see the boarded up windows and stuff, and it'll be coming down shortly and stuff, but yeah.
Is that gonna be rebuilt there?
That'll just be demolished at this point. The plan is just to take it down.
Okay. It's a land bank project.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Maybe if we're lucky, Bruce Nelson will have a use for it.
Yeah, I don't know where all that's at.
Who knows? Yeah, just if we're lucky, something could happen.
There's a land bank meeting tomorrow.
I guess the other project was like a sort of something that people might recognize, like, when you're over by East Front Turn, where there's a house that had like the porch fall down over by the bridges across from Buffy Arbaugh's place, right?
It's getting restored.
Blue. Yeah. So they're gonna restore the windows, stairs, porches, and all of that. The plans got approved.
Is that the same owner that did the one kitty corner to that?
No.
No, I don't know.
So the land bank bid that out on a different contractor on the bid.
Yep, so they got their plans approved, and so that's like a nice thing that we'll see. The one big thing is getting demolished, and then here's this nice one that's going to be fixed up.
And
so, nice.
So I'm the land bank meeting tomorrow, but our 2 land bank projects that we're going in with them on should be coming in April-ish. The Fox Street and Spencer.
They must have removed the meters or something, because they put the road up.
They're working on them, but
Somebody patched the road, I don't know what it was, but it's quite a large pit.
don't like demolishing stuff in the middle of winter. Rusty?
This is, are you pretty much done with your stuff? Because this is something to do with your stuff.
Yeah.
We have a proposal from Julie Nucci
Oh, yeah.
to become a coordinator, do a bunch of work for us for a bunch of money. You seen that? No. Okay, then we'll look at that.
Might be, that's probably my email.
We'll look at that later.
Yeah.
Because it's too much for us to just jump right in now and figure it all out.
But I did the one part, I sent out I forwarded an email.
Yeah, I got it.
And I wanted, so one part is that there's a conference coming up, and she wanted to.
Oh, I did see that part.
Yeah, but just the one part, if, so her request was to cover half the cost of her to attend the conference.
She was anticipating the conference to cost around $2,000, and she also wants to become any particular thing for us. And she would attend that conference, and she would like us to cover half the cost for her to do that. Let me see when that was.
I guess who's covering the other half of it?
She's gonna cover it herself, or whatever methodology she has to get.
To attend the full conference, the registration fee alone is $910.
Yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, I was trying to find when the conference was, to see how fast we had to move to do this. The only reason I say that, yeah, is that to see how time sensitive that was. I don't remember finding it.
April 20th.
April 20th?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. It's on the top of the sheet.
Okay.
Now, is that, so she had multiple things on that list. She's giving a presentation at one, and then she wants to attend the other. So I think the April 20th one, she's giving that presentation, right?
Yeah. The other one is the national floodplain managers meeting, the one for $2,000.
That's the request.
She's doing the one with the Owego thing, April 20th. That's not the $2,000 as far as I'm looking. Anyways, we need to be aware that this is something that she's asking for and be prepared to talk about it. And we need her here, so for us to talk about it right now without her here is also foolish. Yes, no?
Well, I don't know, can we separate the education cost from the rest of the discussion so that she could?
She wasn't asking for any money for this thing. This is thing she's gonna do for.
Yeah, but what she asked for was the conference because of the price or something. Right?
I believe that this thing here, where they're gonna do the village road, that, I don't think that's the same as this one. To attend the full conference, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's what that is. So
It is the same thing?
they're gonna present there, but for her to attend the conference, not just present, it's gonna cost her $2,000.
Okay. On the bottom here on page 2, it says, I will speak at the New York State Floodplain Managers Conference in Syracuse about a week ago.
Yeah.
I am not asking for any funds to cover expenses for that.
Yeah, so there's two different ones.
That's what I said. The big one is the national thing that she wants to go to, that's $2,000. We need to find out from her more stuff, and we also need to decide, or get more information and decide if we're going to hire her as the thing that Jamie was going to be.
Is the fee separate from the $2,000?
What fee?
$910 fee?
No, that was a registration fee.
So that's included in the 2,000?
I don't know for sure. It doesn't say exactly, but I would think that it is.
I think
But anyway, she wants to become the coordinator, and she's willing to do that, but she wants to have a payment for that. So we need to talk to her about that. Let's not talk about somebody else.
Right, so, when we were talking about it, setting it up, we didn't want our workers having an extra load. So this is like, a way that we're, one way that Julie's doing the work, she'd get paid for it, and then it establishes that somebody would get paid
in the future, creating like a second half, like if somebody's part-time and then they have this extra work, after it's set up, then, they would have this, another half job set up or a full-time job potentially.
Have an option to go full-time?
In the future, yeah, but this is like our 5-year setup time.
Yes, if you can look back and picture that information we got for that 5-year, and the first year was this much money was gonna go to Jamie's thing, and then eventually they were gonna start out being the head, the coordinator, and then eventually we're gonna bring somebody into that. That is kind of what Julie's proposing.
Yeah.
Once again, let's
Yeah, we
talk
gotta-
to Julie about it.
Julie
We
coming.
gotta figure that out.
So anyways, it'd be, establishing, getting the work done and then that would keep, because we have 10,000 a year of our money towards this. And so of that 10,000, that would be a local person getting paid to be doing that work. So that's one good thing of that. And then,
Yes, we're gonna pay somebody, but she's the expert and she knows this stuff and she's a great candidate. But at the same time, we're also trying to play the game of using in kind for that 10,000 instead
That
of
was the plan.
taking that out of our pocket. So once again, let's not try to fix that right this minute, because we're not there.
At the bottom of the email, it says it
Budget thing.
gotta be done by the end of March for your enrollment.
For the role, yeah,
So we got-
so we have 2 months
Yeah.
to talk to her and get this together, figured out.
yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you when you read your thing.
yeah, I forgot, I want to bring that up.
Yep.
So, yeah, there were certain things in there that we wanted, people to get into, so like Mick getting, certified floodplain managers, becoming a certified floodplain manager and stuff, and so.
Say that 3 times real
I
fast.
know, right?
Certified, fine.
So part of this conference and things like that are, getting people trained to know all the stuff they need to know to do this for us, so. Yeah.
So who would you like to have coordinate this building for CPR times?
It's got nothing to do.
Probably around there, like so.
Okay, because I have two dates, Wednesday the 15th and Wednesday the 22nd, to split up the group at 9 a.m.
Yeah, get with the clerk's office, I'll figure out
Okay,
who, what day or whatever.
just
Yeah.
email all
Not
3 of
directly,
them,
Yeah.
and I'll email Fred, and they can decide who's gonna take what day. I know Fred's gonna be weather dependent, and I warned the instructor that,
Yeah, right, it's snowing, it'll be out.
yeah, if it's snowing, then it's gonna be pushed off. Okay, so I'll send that email tonight.
Okay. Thank you, thanks.
Yep,
Thanks.
yep.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Night, folks.
All right, anything else? Ron?
We have nothing.
Brian?
Well, I don't have anything in regard to EMS or cemetery committee. We had a joint meeting with the Friends of Evergreen to look at, our plans for the next few years and who is gonna be responsible for getting grants and that sort of thing. We're gonna meet again in another month, so there's nothing concrete on that yet.
And we need numbers for the cemetery.
Yeah, we do. We need, another member for cemetery committee, so if anybody has any ideas, suggestions, would be appreciated. Yeah, I went to, NICEAG with the mayor, and, it was, really quite productive. One thing of note is, with the catch and release, they're proposing to, make it, at the judge's discretion, as far as you know, how,
You're talking about bail reform?
yeah,
They're
Yeah,
proposing
they
some more amendments to it.
yeah, so they're looking at that as far as giving the judges some options on, you know, repeat offenders and so on. So they're working on it. They're doing stuff on housing. The mayor could probably tell you more. And, on the cannabis laws, they've come a long way with getting their staffing set up for, licensing and they've started, giving licenses to different dispensaries. And they're also working at closing down the illegal ones. There was several, buses in New York City that they snatched and grabbed.
Food trucks.
Yeah, with all the
There are
contents.
hundreds.
Didn't Cheech and Chong do that in the movie? Yeah.
Well, they combine one with the other.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And, yeah, you know, the ones that we're used to, they're gonna get shut down too. Anybody has any particular complaints, you can contact them, there's, the information in,
Yeah, I didn't get all the email addresses that I got, but I have some email addresses that are not.
you take over mine. That's the highlights that I was interested in.
I'll give mine last week. Charles?
I'm good, there's no report that I have.
Mike, can I throw something in here about the bail reform?
Yep.
The governor in her budget is proposing changes in the bail reform.
Right.
And the Senate and Assembly aren't gonna do it.
We'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, because we know who's running the show there. And I think, okay. But we're hopeful that.
Yeah,
that
we're
they can
hopeful it'll
make
be
some changes.
reform.
Alright, so communications, obviously, went to NICOM, so communication for them is the next NICOM event is May 17th through 19th at Sagamore.
Someplace nice.
Sagamore, back at Sagamore.
So anyway,
Yeah, it's a Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Wednesday,
Friday.
Thursday, Friday, which is horrible days.
Because you can't afford the Sagamore on the weekend.
That's true.
It's true.
So this is kind of mayor's report too, but the overall conference, I made a copy of everything that we got there for everybody. And so the first couple of pages, 3 pages, are NICOM's summary of the proposed budget. And each little thing there of what's going on. Then the next 2 pages, front and back, are a new housing proposal that the governor's put in the budget. It's quite interesting, but horribly painful to read. And that was a lot of the talk of the conference, actually, was this housing proposal. Because there's some mandates in there of us, well, every municipality creating new housing because there's apparently a housing crisis. And if you don't create new housing, the state government come in and override your zoning and approvals.
Kind of like the police thing that we had to do, because we had to do.
Yeah, and there's reporting of, you know, you gotta report that you've created housing and whatever. Anyway, who knows if it'll pass, but it's in the budget, and she is very much behind.
Allowance for housing they want created.
Yeah, for us, it's 1% in 3 years, every 3 years.
Eventually we're gonna run out of land, she's aware of that, right?
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in here about rezoning to higher densities and.
So let's get rid of small town America and put it in sky rises.
Yep.
That makes sense.
It's always New York City based, and, yeah, Smithboro's gotta be doing what New York City's doing.
Yep. If you don't do it, they can come in and do it for you.
Like a pilot program.
Oh, all the housing will get those, don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure, like, we don't have a choice in those anyway, because they come in.
That also is not gonna happen real fast, because that's gonna be court for a while.
And we're, not getting any more state aid was the outcome of the budget. Everything was, AIM funding staying the same, CHIPS is staying the same, Nikon is fighting for the wastewater chips program, but right now in the budget, they funded the grant-based wastewater programs where we kind of have to fight for it with the other municipalities, so. Nikon's pushing a chips type system where we get so much money a year to do stuff. We don't have to get a grant.
And they're actually giving us the AIM funding instead of cutting it like they attempted to.
Yeah, so they're not cutting it, but they're not increasing it either.
They tried to get rid of it.
We don't get much of that.
Yeah.
And I figured out some other places give a whole lot. So I don't know what we're doing. But anyway, that's the last bunch of pages is the information from the cannabis sessions. We had a very well attended cannabis session with all of the cannabis control board are the ones who gave the session, including, so all the people who wrote the legislation and the enforcement division was there.
Licensing.
The licensing, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, how's that enforcement division doing so far?
Actually pretty good. So they gave an example. Obviously, they don't have enough people because there's tons of illegal marijuana shops.
They need to jump on it.
Yeah, but they gave an example. They showed a couple examples of the food trucks, and there was a dispensary, illegal dispensary in New York City, which they shut down, and they fined them over $1 million in tax evasion. And that's what they're doing to these illegal dispensaries. They're going to fine them with tax evasion.
Triple that.
Well, right.
Yeah, well, and the other thing they're doing too is, they're going after the landlords
Right.
of where the dispensaries are, threatening them with fines. Which, maybe the landlords,
So it's going to get serious because obviously an illegal one doesn't pay taxes, which is the whole point of this.
And of course, we have our new place right by the bank.
Right. So we have an email address and the contact information now of the enforcement people. So I made them aware that we have a new place and, see what happens. But it's somebody for the police department to work with.
When I went to Massachusetts, theirs out there are beautiful, look like high-end restaurants, doctors, all like, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Why can't we have something like that?
So that's what's coming.
I mean, there's these little nickel and dime things just look horrible.
So
But
the
these
legal-
are the thing, these are.
Right, but
The
that's what
legal
they've
ones
allowed
are-
to be created.
The legal ones are not going to look anything like what's here, which they've made that very clear. The legal ones are going to look like a liquor store. God, there's all sorts of, and that's where I was going with this. The legislation is written. They have it in front of the legislature in Albany right now. And in one of these pages, there's a link to get to it. And they want comments on it. There's an email address somewhere here
yeah, it's
where you have to write your
above
comments
of this,
by next week.
the 13th, it's when it's gonna be voted on, so.
So, and then there's information here on like kind of what they're gonna look like, but they can't have neon signs, they can't advertise, the packaging of the product has to be certain things. They've got to have a
Can't
thing,
look like candy.
yeah, they've got to have a sign posted on the door that you can scan with your phone and verify that it's a real place. You gotta be over 21 to go in the place.
All that concept is nice and correct, because anybody that's going to have a real license and follow the real rules and do this stuff, it will be that. And that's not the worry. The worry is the black market, which is taking over California,
Well,
and et cetera, and taking over New York already.
their incentive to shut down the black market is they're not getting taxed from it. And
Oh, yeah, they got good
I mean,
incentive.
they've created a whole, they call it OCM, Office of Cannabis Management, but they've got a whole enforcement division that they're staffing up. Company.
Yeah, they got like half staffed right now, they're adding more.
That's not what the black market's gonna be. The black market is going to not be,
Well,
the store down here, the black market's going to be not in the store. And they, by making the law and not being ready and having 2 years for that black market to play, they've really helped develop how that black market's gonna go. Now, I'm not talking about blizzards, I'm talking about the real black market. But
Yeah,
enough of that.
dealing on the street. Yeah.
That's probably the problem, these people that was dealing in the street probably thought they had a in, because they was already on top of the business.
So that's what they
were gonna be
thought.
able to-
And actually, like, some of them sent them postcards and, I mean, some of them are,
Yeah, they were soliciting to
some of
to
the
get
stories are
certified
crazy.
as a dispensary and.
Postcard's the best way to apply.
Yeah.
After they connected the check with that postcard. right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they said,
What else you got?
Well,
Yeah,
I've got a
enforcement guys,
Christmas
it's good
card.
stories, yeah, Christmas cards, all that stuff. So that was a big theme of my family. And,
I knew eventually this would come down to taxes.
that's, and yeah, that's the, they want
Mess
taxes.
with their money.
Yeah. They're messing with the state's money, so they're gonna get shut down. And it's gonna get ugly for whoever's doing
Tax evasion is much bigger than drug charges.
it. Yes, it is. Last item is public comment.
Public comment. Where's Devarney? We've only got Mr. Farrell.
yeah, where's Mike today?
She's on. Actually, I'm so we see it.
Nothing for you.
All right.
Move to adjourn.
I'm saying,